How the way you cook affects how you age after 60. It's easy to think healthy eating is only about ingredients, fresh vegetables, lean proteins, whole foods, less sugar, less processed food. And yes, those things matter. But after 60, there is another layer that many people never think about. It is not just what you eat, it is what you do to it before it ever reaches your plate. Because cooking is not just preparation. It is chemistry. It is transformation. It changes the structure of food, the availability of nutrients, the way fats behave, the way proteins react, and the way your body has to process the final result. And those changes can work for you or quietly against you. That is why two meals made from similar ingredients can leave the body feeling very different. One may feel light, nourishing, and easy to digest. The other may leave you feeling heavy, inflamed, sluggish, or oddly tired. And after 60, those differences matter more. Because digestion changes, recovery changes, inflammation becomes more important, and the body usually becomes less forgiving of habits that create unnecessary stress. So in this episode, we are going deeper into something that most people overlook every day: how the way you cook your food affects how you age. We are going to look at what heat actually does to food, why some cooking methods support the body better than others, what advanced glycation end products are, how oxidation and inflammation fit into the picture, why digestion becomes more sensitive with age, and how a few smarter shifts in the kitchen can support better energy, less irritation, and better long-term aging. Because after 60, healthy eating is not just about choosing the right foods. It is also about preparing them in a way your body can actually use well. Part 1. What heat actually does to food. Cooking changes food at a molecular level. That sounds technical, but the idea is simple. When heat is applied to food, it changes texture, water content, structure, digestibility, taste, and chemistry. Some of those changes are beneficial. Cooking can soften tough fibers. It can make certain foods easier to chew and easier to digest. It can reduce some harmful microbes. And in some cases, it can increase the availability of certain nutrients. For example, lightly cooking vegetables can make them easier for the body to break down. That matters after 60 because digestion often becomes slower and less robust. Stomach acid production may decrease. Digestive enzyme output may be lower. Chewing may be less efficient. And the gut may become more sensitive to foods that are too heavy, too dry, too greasy, or too difficult to break down. That means cooking is not the enemy. In many cases, cooking is helpful. It can make food gentler on the digestive system. It can reduce the physical work of digestion, and that can leave more energy available for the rest of life. But heat is not neutral, because the moment heat goes too high, too dry, or too prolonged, something else begins to happen. Nutrients can be damaged. Fats can oxidize. Proteins and sugars can react in ways that create compounds the body does not handle well. And those compounds can increase the burden on systems that are already working harder with age. So cooking is not simply good or bad. It is a spectrum. The question is not whether you cook. The question is how. Part 2. Why cooking can help digestion after 60. This is where the conversation becomes practical. A lot of people after 60 notice that foods they used to tolerate with no problem now feel different. Raw vegetables may feel heavier. Tough meats may sit in the stomach longer. Fried meals may feel draining. Very rich foods may create bloating, heaviness, or sluggishness. That does not always mean something is seriously wrong. Sometimes it just means the digestive system is asking for a little more support. Gently cooked foods are often easier to tolerate because heat softens structure. Vegetables become less fibrous and easier to break down. Proteins become easier to chew and digest when prepared properly. Soups, stews, slow-cooked meals, and steamed foods often require less digestive effort than dry, charred, or heavily fried meals. And that matters because digestion is energy expensive. When food is hard to break down, the body has to work harder. That can leave you feeling tired after meals, weighed down, or uncomfortable. But when food is prepared in a way that matches what the body can handle well, you often feel the difference. More ease, less heaviness, more stable energy. That is one reason traditional food cultures often relied on broths, stews, soups, steaming, poaching, and slow simmering. Not because those methods were trendy, because they worked. They made food more usable. And honestly, there is something old school and wise in that. Modern culture loves speed, char, crunch, and high heat. But the body often does better with patience. Part 3. The hidden cost of high heat. Now let's talk about what happens when heat gets too aggressive. When food is grilled hard, fried, charred, or roasted at very high temperatures, chemical reactions begin to create compounds that can increase stress inside the body. One important category is called advanced glycation end products, often shortened to AGEs. AGEs form when sugars react with proteins or fats during high heat cooking. This is part of what gives browned food its deep flavor, crisp surface, and appealing color. So yes, the same reaction that creates flavor can also create compounds that the body does not love in large amounts. This does not mean browned food is poison. Let's keep our feet on the ground. It means dose and frequency matter, because ages can accumulate over time, and research has linked high age exposure with greater oxidative stress and inflammation. Those processes are especially relevant in aging because they can affect blood vessels, connective tissue, metabolic health, and the body's ability to repair itself. After 60, that becomes more important because the body is often less efficient at clearing the wear and tear created by repeated inflammatory stress. So, when high-heat cooking becomes the default, not the occasional meal but the pattern, the body may start paying the price quietly. Not necessarily with dramatic symptoms overnight, but with more stiffness, more sluggish recovery, more irritation in the system, less resilience over time. That is the issue, not one grilled meal, the pattern. Part 4. Why ages matter more as you get older. This is where the science connects directly to real life. As we age, the body naturally becomes more vulnerable to cumulative stress. Proteins and tissues can become stiffer. Blood vessels can lose flexibility. Repair processes can slow down. Inflammatory signals can stick around longer, and blood sugar regulation may become less efficient in some people, which can add even more glycation stress internally. That means age exposure from food is not the only factor, but it becomes one piece of a bigger picture. And this helps explain why the same diet that once felt fine at 35 may not feel so fine at 65. Because aging is not only about what time does to the body, it is also about repeated inputs, repeated irritation, repeated oxidation, repeated inflammatory load, repeated cooking methods that slowly create more stress than support. The body keeps score. This can show up as morning stiffness, slower recovery after activity, reduced tissue flexibility, worsening metabolic health, or that vague feeling of being inflamed without knowing exactly why. Again, this is not about fear. It is about understanding. Because once you understand what is happening, the kitchen becomes one of the easiest places to reduce unnecessary wear. Part 5. Oxidation, oils, and why some fats handle heat better. Now let's talk about oils, because this is another place where cooking method matters. Not all fats behave the same under heat. Some are relatively stable, others break down more easily. When oils are heated too aggressively, especially repeatedly, they can oxidize. That means the fat molecules become damaged and create byproducts that are more inflammatory and harder on the body. This is especially relevant with highly processed seed oils used at very high temperatures, or oils that are reused again and again. That breakdown can quietly increase oxidative stress, and oxidative stress is one of the major drivers of cellular aging. So the issue is not just the oil itself. It is the oil plus temperature plus repetition. Some fats tend to do better with cooking than others. Olive oil can work well at moderate temperatures. Avocado oil is often more heat stable. Butter can be used moderately in the right context, though it still should not be abused. The point is not perfection. The point is knowing that overheating fragile fats creates a different food than the one you started with. And when that becomes a daily habit, the body feels it. So one of the simplest upgrades after 60 is to use more gentle cooking temperatures and avoid repeatedly overheating oils. Small shift, big long-term difference. Part 6. The inflammation connection. This is where it all comes together. Inflammation is not always bad. Acute inflammation is part of healing. It is part of repair. It is part of the immune system doing its job. But chronic, low-grade inflammation is different. That is the background irritation that can wear the body down over time. It is often connected to joint discomfort, slower recovery, stiffness, brain fog, metabolic strain, vascular stress, and that general feeling that the body is not bouncing back the way it used to. Food can influence that, and so can cooking. Because high heat, heavily charred, oxidized, over-processed meals can add to the inflammatory burden, while gentler cooking methods often reduce that load. This does not mean food is the only cause of inflammation. Of course not. Sleep matters, stress matters, movement matters, hydration matters, body composition matters, blood sugar matters. But cooking is one of those daily, repeatable inputs that is easy to underestimate. You may eat 3 times a day. That is a lot of repetitions over a year, and repeated signals shape how the body feels. Part 7. Cooking methods that often support health better. So what tends to work better? Generally, gentler and wetter methods. Steaming, poaching, boiling, slow cooking, stewing, braising, cooking with broth, water, tomato, or other liquids. These methods reduce direct high heat exposure. They lower the formation of AGEs. They often preserve moisture, and they usually create foods that are easier to chew, easier to digest, and easier on the system. This is especially helpful after 60 because foods that are moist and gently cooked are often less taxing on the stomach and less irritating overall. Low to moderate oven temperatures can also be helpful. Sautéing gently instead of blasting food, roasting without charring, cooking until done, not until scorched. There is wisdom in restraint. Food does not need to be abused to be delicious. In fact, some of the most comforting, digestible, deeply nourishing meals come from slow, patient cooking. Soups, stews, beans cooked properly, fish poached gently, vegetables steamed and finished with olive oil, chicken simmered in broth. These are not glamorous influencer meals, but they are often aging-friendly meals. Part 8. What can work against you? Now let's be plain about what adds up badly when it becomes a habit. Frequent deep frying, daily high-heat grilling, charring meats and vegetables regularly, reheating oils over and over, cooking everything until it is hard, crisp, dark, and dry. Those patterns can increase AGEs, oxidation, and digestive burden. And the body may answer with more heaviness after eating, slower recovery, more bloating, more stiffness, or just a vague sense that meals are not leaving you feeling truly nourished. This is not about banning flavor. It is about not turning the harshest cooking methods into the foundation of the diet. Because once in a while is one thing, every day is another, and after 60, daily patterns matter more than occasional indulgences. Part 9. What this looks like in real life. This is not a call for perfection. You do not need to throw out your grill. You do not need to fear roasted vegetables. You do not need a sterile kitchen. What you need is balance. If you love grilled food, enjoy it, just not as the base of every meal. If you like crispy textures, fine, just balance them with gentler meals too. If you roast, roast with awareness. If you fry, fry occasionally, not constantly. And start paying attention to how your body feels after different kinds of meals. That part matters more than people think. Do you feel energized or drained? Light or heavy? Satisfied or inflamed? Steady or sluggish? Your body gives feedback. Most people just have not been taught to listen. Part 10. The bigger idea. The way you cook becomes part of the way you age. That may sound dramatic, but it is true in the quiet, cumulative way that most real health changes happen. Not from one meal, not from one bad choice, not from one perfect week, but from repeated daily patterns. The kitchen is one of the places where aging is either gently supported or quietly accelerated. And the good news is that this is deeply practical. You do not need exotic supplements. You do not need strict rules. You do not need to become obsessive. You just need a little more awareness, a little more moisture, a little less scorching, a little less abuse of oils, a little more patience with heat, a little more respect for what your body is now asking for. Because after 60, the body often rewards softer methods, not only in how you move, not only in how you recover, but even in how you cook. So yes, what you eat matters. But after 60, how you cook matters too. Because heat changes food. It changes digestion. It changes fats. It changes inflammatory load. It changes the compounds your body has to deal with after every meal. And over time, those small, repeated choices help shape energy, mobility, recovery, and the way the body feels day to day. So you do not need to fear food. You just need to cook with more wisdom. Not everything needs to be blasted, browned, crisped, or charred. Sometimes the gentler path is the stronger one. And in the next episode, we explore something deeper: why your energy feels inconsistent and where your body may actually be losing it. Because there is a hidden system involved in how energy is made, used, and drained. And once you understand that system, a lot of what you feel each day starts to make more sense. Until then, stay re-inspired.
I hope this video brought you value and re-inspired you. If so, please subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. And if anybody you know could use a little re-inspiration, please send it to them. Thank you so much for watching.